Hello, friends. Today I'm going to talk about the disease I recently contracted. Um, I got bitten by something about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and it was on my stomach. And I noticed that, well, within a couple of days, I noticed that the area was very, very red, as you can see right here. But the one thing about this bug bite was that it wasn't very itchy. I would itch just slightly, but certainly not vigorously like a mosquito or a fire ant bite. And then I went on vacation, and I had some symptoms that I did not attribute to this bite. I was extremely tired periodically on the trip, almost to the point of just falling down asleep. As soon as I would wake up in the morning and get dressed and go out and get ready for the day, it wasn't long, maybe half an hour or so, that I just became so fatigued. And I just attributed it to jet lag, or just travel stress, that can happen within a few days, that you take a long trip to another country and deal with customs and agriculture and transportation and hotel changes. But then when I returned from my trip, I noticed that the actual the spot had changed its coloring and its overall appearance. So this is what it looked like when I returned from my trip. Then I knew something was wrong. I had heard that Lyme's disease had a target appearance, but I initially did not see it it was the side of my stomach, actually, the side of my body. And if you look really closely on the first picture, there is a target. There is a bullseye appearance. And what looked to me like a solid red rash was not solid red at all. It had that lighter target area within it. And the doctor I went to see actually specialized in Lyme's disease and treatments of diseases that humans can catch, and he took a lot of interest in Lyme's disease because it is becoming an epidemic in my area. Now, the one thing that the doctor told me was that climate change is exacerbating this condition, these ticks, and the disease. I went to a veterinarian today, and I asked them for some statistics, and I was told that 1 out of 5 dogs that are tested for Lyme's disease come up positive. Now that's a lot of infection. It's a bacterial infection. So I did a little research, and it concluded everything that the doctor told me, but it gave me some more in-depth information. This tick-borne illness is spreading quickly in the eastern and midwestern United States, due in part by climate change. Lyme cases have more than doubled since the 1990s. More than 90% of cases pop up in the Northeast. Lyme disease reaches people through tick bites after circulating through a chain of other species, like chipmunks, who are low on the forest floor. The bacteria live in mice, birds, chipmunks, and deer in wooded areas. My area and its county are prime areas for Lyme's disease. If the tick carries the Borrelia burgdorferi, I wish I could say it fast, bacteria, they can infect us when bitten. Walking through tall grasses or playing in fields, as children do, places everyone and anyone at risk, as the tick can crawl on us as we brush against foliage. About 30,000 Americans get the disease each year. But the CDC thinks the real number is 10 times that much, just undiagnosed. The infected tick must be on you for 24 to 36 hours to transmit the disease. With suburbanization, more and more people live in areas near animals that carry Lyme's. People move into areas where Lyme's is maintained in the deer and mouse populations. Climate change is the drive of this trend, and the situation will get worse. Seasons of warmer weather that last longer in broader parts of the country means ticks are active for longer periods and can live further and further north. Global warming increased tick production up to 2 times in the United States and up to 5 times in Canada. Climate change is aiding the disease twofold, helping ticks reproduce and helping them live in more parts of the United States. So, here is another picture. And I actually took a series of pictures, but these are the only 2 that I actually printed out, the before and after. And today is the last day to take my medicine, and it is a dose of doxycycline, which cures or treats the disease. 2 capsules a day. And the treatment was rather painless. I had very little side effects from the medication. I don't know if this is true, but somebody at the veterinary clinic told me that I will always test positive for Lyme's, and I don't know if that is true. Yeah, I have actually at the vet office 2 other girls and women had contracted the disease, and so they knew all about it. So we are all at risk in the Northeast and many parts of the United States, and even Europe has incidents of Lyme disease. So that's just another reason to stop breeding, not reproduce. There are so many hazards in this world, and there are way more hazards when we add more people to the world. Adding more people just complicates every scenario in life. It doesn't make anything easier. There is nothing beneficial about adding more people to the world. And even if we weren't overpopulated as we are now, each of those people that are introduced into existence will suffer. So naturally, Lyme disease, mosquito bites, bee stings, snake bites, they're all just part of living with animals and living with nature. And whether we had a population of 100 or 7.6 billion, as we have today, each person has plenty of suffering to endure on this planet. So why don't we extinguish suffering by eliminating the reproductive process. That means to stop reproducing, stop having babies. Simply, that's what I mean. It's just futile to keep bringing people into the world in order to take care of us when we are old, or to pass on, you know, a coin collection, or to pass on your family name. Yeah, it's just all such a pointless venture, and it's just repetitive, and it's a vicious cycle of life, and it's a vicious circle of life. So, so now I did have to share this with you, and since it's the last day that I'm taking my medication, I hope that I'm done with any and all symptoms. I still have a very faint rash, actually. I don't have a picture of it, and I wish I had a whole series of pictures, but this is the best I could do at this point. So thanks for watching this far, and please subscribe if you already haven't.